There was a time where I was sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything. And it was just an escape from
48 hours. Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose.
So it looks like Justin Bieber is finally ready to tell his side of the story when it comes to this whole Diddy situation. And y'all, the horrific things that he has to say are just heartbreaking. For years, people have been talking about how Diddy allegedly essayed Justin when he was just a kid. And as it turns out, Diddy allegedly also got Justin hooked on drugs as well. There's a longer list of allegations that Justin is now making against Diddy. And y'all, every single one of them is foul. Did Diddy really give Justin a Ferrari after allegedly essaying him?
All these industry people know that Diddy been acting like this and doing this and try to engage other men into acts with him. There was story that he was trying to get Chris Brown. There's stories about, those young boys that he had, a group, B5 or something like that, trying to get them. Yo, it's a lot of stories that goes around in this industry.
So here we are back at it again with the latest update, because it's like a roller coaster of insanity. So you guys know about all these allegations flying around about Diddy in the last couple of weeks, right? Okay, well hold on to your butts, because it's about to go from bad to even worse. And I mean worse in a way we never saw coming. Word on the street is from deep within Hollywood is that there's a potential police investigation looming over Diddy regarding some serious allegations. Now, I get it, there's this whole statute of limitations thing and all, but here's the twist. This investigation might just get very serious because it involves minors. Embrace yourselves, y'all, because one of the alleged minors in question is none other than Justin Bieber. Yeah, you heard me right. Rumor has it that some new info has surfaced, supposedly proving that Diddy did some pretty awful stuff to both Usher and Justin when they were just kids under his mentorship. And honestly, looking back, we probably should have seen this investigation coming. The way people in the industry have been distancing themselves from Diddy has been nothing short of wild. I mean, we all know Hollywood doesn't exactly set standards for loyalty, but when it comes to the current situation with Diddy, it's even worse. Okay, so remember when Cassie filed her lawsuit, right? There wasn't much of a response from the industry because all the heat was coming from fans, but all of a sudden, he's getting dropped by Hollywood. Yeah, it didn't make sense at first, but now that we all know about the investigation, the pieces of the puzzle are finally starting to come together. Cassie's lawsuit brought him so much bad publicity that he eventually chose to settle after just one day. His lawyers then released a statement that said, "Just so we're clear, a decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat-out denial of the claims. He is happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Miss Ventura the best." It honestly just went downhill from there because several new accusations came up that made the situation 10 times worse, and every single lawsuit made Diddy look like a villain. The first person to come out was a woman named Joey Dickerson Neal, and she claimed that Diddy drugged her, essayed her, and recorded it without her knowledge when she was a college student in 1991. According to reports, the complaint alleges Combs intentionally drugged Dickerson Neal, leaving her unable to stand or walk. The suit said she left her drink unattended with him at a restaurant, and afterward, under alleged pressure from Combs, she took a hit from a blunt. They then drove to a music studio, the suit stated. When Dickerson Neal couldn't exit the car, Combs allegedly took her to a place he was staying to essay her, according to the filing. Even worse, she revealed in the lawsuit that Diddy had made a video of him essaying her, and he shared it around. Reports have it that days later, a male friend named Devontae Swing, a member of the popular 90s R&B group Jodeci, revealed to Joey that he viewed an adult tape along with other people, according to the suit. Joey said Swing feared his band would lose its record deal if he spoke against Combs. Then before Diddy could even deal with that, another lawsuit was filed by a woman who decided to stay anonymous to protect her identity. And listen, I don't blame her at all. Jane Doe claimed that Diddy and singer Aaron Hall allegedly essayed her and her friend back in the 90s. She said that she and her friend had met Diddy at an industry event hosted by RCA Records, and they had all hit it off. She said that both men had been charming, so when they invited her and her friend to Aaron's apartment for an after party, they didn't think anything of it. According to reports, while at Hall's apartment, Jane Doe was offered more drinks and was coerced into being intimate with Combs. After Combs finished doing his business, Jane Doe laid in bed, shocked and traumatized. While Jane Doe was trying to get dressed, Hall allegedly barged into the room, pinned her down, and forced Jane Doe to be intimate with him. But y'all, it got even worse than that. Jane Doe was not only Diddy and Aaron's victim. Allegedly, Diddy and Aaron then took turns to SA her friend at the same time. And it didn't end there, because days later, Combs went to the home where Jane Doe and her friend were staying, became irate, and allegedly and choked Jane Doe until she passed out. Combs was allegedly looking for the friend because he feared she would tell the girl he was with at the time. Diddy denied this, and his lawyer said because of Mr. Combs' fame and success, he is an easy target for anonymous accusers who lie without conscience or consequence for financial benefit. The New York legislature surely did not intend or expect the Adult Survivors Act to be exploited by scammers. The public should be skeptical and not rush to accept these bogus allegations. Now, even now, Hollywood has been silent about this, and like I said, nobody really did anything, and it was starting to look like the industry was ignoring the situation. Then about a week ago, after the lawsuits, he suddenly started to be canceled out the blue, and his partnered brands were distancing themselves from him. Yeah, this was suspicious, and it sent off some instant red flags, and we all started wondering what was going on, because it was clear that it wasn't only about Cassie's lawsuit. The first corporation to announce that they were cutting ties with him was Macy's, who released a statement saying, as a part of our ongoing review of our brand portfolio, the Sean John collection has started to phase out of assortment since early fall 2023. Diddy's products are being removed and won't be available on the site. It's the course of business. Retail stores are always evaluating and deciding what's relevant to consumers. Then it got even more suspicious when several insiders reported that Diddy was going to be banned from the Grammys, even though he's nominated for an award. Not only did the organizers not want to invite him, but all the celebs didn't even want to sit next to him, treating him like he's contagious. Several Academy officials are pushing to remove the billionaire superstar from the Grammy guest list. The formal invitations go out this month. There's conflict at the Academy as several voting members do not think it would be appropriate to invite Diddy. Some, including several high-profile African-American members, fear that inviting him sends the wrong message to its audiences and the charities it supports. Several publicists have asked that their artists aren't seated by him. It's a logistical nightmare. But things got next level insane when even his own company, Revo TV, announced that Diddy had been asked to step down from his role as chairman of the company. They released a statement that said, Sean Combs has stepped down from his position as chairman of Revo. While Mr. Combs has previously had no operational or day-to-day role in the business, this decision helps to ensure that Revo remains steadfastly focused on our mission to create meaningful content for the culture and amplify the voices of all Black people throughout this country and the African diaspora. They continued, our focus has always been one that reflects our commitment to the collective journey of Revo, one that is not driven by any individual, but by the shared efforts and values of our entire team on behalf of advancing, elevating, and championing our culture. And that continues. So they made it crystal clear that Diddy was basically uninvolved in the day-to-day business, and that was an instant red flag. It was like they were doing everything in their power to distance themselves from their founder, Diddy. At this point, it was a surefire sign that some serious dirt on Diddy was about to come to light. Whatever it was had to be way worse than the whole Cassie ordeal, and that's how we knew it was really bad. Well, it turns out to be even worse than what we thought, because the latest reports is spilling tea on an ongoing investigation into Diddy for allegedly doing some seriously messed up stuff to young boys, including minors. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this, but this isn't the first time Diddy's been under investigation for allegedly crossing some serious lines with young men. Back in 2013, there were reports that Diddy was being investigated by federal agencies for sleeping with young boys. According to reports, during a debriefing session with federal investigators, James Roseman, the music manager turned kingpin, was reportedly questioned about the preferences of entertainers, including whether Sean Diddy Combs was having intimate relationships with underage boys. According to a U.S. District Court filing, a prosecutor then asked about entertainers' intimate preferences, including but not only Sean Combs having intimate relationships with underage boys. Now, for those of you who don't know, James Roseman, aka Jimmy Henchman, used to be a big shot in the music biz before getting hit with a laundry list of charges: murder for hire, money laundering, drug trafficking, trafficking, you name it. So if there is someone who knows the creepy, shady part of Hollywood, it's Jimmy Henchman. And when he gets questioned about Diddy and minors, you know things are about to get real bad. And listen, I'm not talking about local police here. We're talking about federal investigators, folks. And let me tell you, when it comes to the Fed stepping in, it is not a game, it is not a joke. These guys don't mess around, especially when it comes to matters like this. And if they're grilling Jimmy Henchman about Diddy and young boys, it ain't because they saw some headline on TMZ. They're digging deep because they've got some legit reasons to believe Diddy might be knee-deep in some shady business. So what's the tea? Well, let's start with the rumors trailing back to Diddy for years. Wendy Williams was on the case way back in the 90s, trying to spill the tea on Diddy. Diddy got so heated he went after her livelihood, trying to mess with her job cause how dare she speak out. And now with federal investigators nosing around, it seems like those rumors might have been more than just gossip, and that's why Diddy was so furious with Wendy.
There was a radio personality once upon a time, her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake for talking about such. And now it's all come full circle.
But that's not all, because his former bodyguard Gene also spilled tea on Diddy's escapades with men.
And he said, yo, Gene, watch the door, don't let nobody come through here. And I said I watched the door. If I watched the door and him and a man ran out naked, and I said that, ain't nobody told me that. I saw that myself.
Rapper Exhibit also revealed that Diddy once took him to a gay bar.
We go down and get a drink. You know, we sitting there bopping to the music, and then she point over the corner. It's two dudes kissing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, then there's girls in the club too. And then she pointed another direction. It's another dude over there like butt ass naked.
Oh, and let's not even get started on 50 Cent and how he has been steadily trying to expose Diddy over the years. There was a time he shaded Diddy on IG and said, sorry, I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under the leadership of Putty Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. There's also the time he went on the Breakfast Club and said that Diddy was fruity.
And when he do it, he says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity.
Now 50 Cent been on his head and claimed that Diddy once tried to take him shopping.
Yo, when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out. We gotta kick it.
This is possible. Okay.
You're telling me we gotta kick it, and he's like, yo, why don't we like go shopping or something? I mean, like I pay for it. And I was like, what the f this just say?
But then the game also threw shade at Diddy when he spoke about how he personally knows a particular DL rapper who tries to hide his sexuality by being a womanizer or having multiple kids with different baby mamas.
I think that you've worked with a gay rapper.
Yeah, man. And gay, not being just full out gay, but hiding it, trying to pretend like he, loves girls and live the rap lifestyle, but really, he's a man fan.
Now, Diddy's sexuality is his business, and he has a right to do the nasty with whoever he wants as long as they're a consenting adult. But see, that's the issue, because the streets are saying that some of his bedmates are not exactly adults or consenting. For example, Orlando Brown also claimed that Diddy gave him that gok, if you know what I mean.
Yo, Diddy, you gave me the oosh-gosh goosh-mash. You gave me the oosh-gosh muaf, the smoosh-mash. Diddy. Yeah, son. You gave me the oosh-gosh muash. I love it, yo.
But it turns out Orlando was not the only young boy in the industry who was allegedly victimized by Diddy. You see, there are new reports coming out now about how Diddy allegedly did the same thing to Justin Bieber. Justin was a child sensation because he got into the industry very early, and as a kid, he was very, very vulnerable to manipulation by older people in the industry. Folks raised eyebrows at Diddy and Justin Bieber's relationship 14 years back during their so-called 48 hours with Diddy. 2 days alone, and considering Diddy's sketchy track record with young men, it was shady for sure, but that wasn't even the major cause for concern. You see, Diddy had some things in the video that got people wondering if he had some ulterior motives. One of the first things he did was to promise Justin a Ferrari for his 16th birthday.
As soon as you turn 16, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna let you rock this every time. This will be yours.
And before we get past that, he jumped right into promising to give Justin a mansion for his 18th birthday.
Then, when you get 18, you get the house. You get the mansion. Okay. Yeah.
Now, did we just hear that right? Diddy was promising a whole mansion and a Ferrari to Justin. The same Diddy who's been dragged by his own artists for not paying them their royalties. Now, that's as fishy as it gets, y'all. He was acting like Santa or something, and like I said, it's suspicious as F, because Diddy is known to be tight-fisted with his artists. But wait, because it's about to get even wilder.
8 hours. Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose.
Can't really disclose what? Yeah, that definitely sent off alarm bells. And according to reports, it's allegedly as bad as we thought, because Diddy forced him to do some things that he didn't want to. Now, I'm just gonna leave the rest for y'all to figure out. But what makes it worse is that Justin was only 15 at the time, and Diddy was a super grown man in his 40s. Gene also revealed that it was a known fact in the industry that Diddy allegedly likes young boys.
All these industry people know that Diddy been acting like this and doing this and try to engage other men into sexual acts with him. There was a story that he was trying to get Chris Brown. There's stories about, you know, those young boys that he had, a group B5 or something like that, trying to get them. Yo, it's a lot of stories that goes around in this industry.
So Justin was new to the industry, which aligns with Diddy's alleged pattern. He seemed to be targeting newcomers who are still figuring out the ropes, and it's very similar to what went down with Cassie. Diddy signed her, then went all in, and despite being in a relationship with Kim Porter, next thing you know, he's allegedly getting handsy with Cassie, and allegedly putting hands on her and treating her as badly as he treated Kim, and all the girlfriends before that. And that's what seems to be leading him into this current mess. The things she revealed in her lawsuit were just insane. Like the part where she said that Diddy SA'd Miss Ventura in her own home after she tried to leave him, often punched, kicked, and stumped on Miss Ventura, resulting in burst lips, black eyes, and bleeding. Forced Miss Ventura to engage in intimate acts with male SWs while getting off on it and filming the encounters. Demanded that Miss Ventura to carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is. And introduced Miss Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse, and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addictions. Now, while he didn't seem to put hands on Justin or Usher, they had it pretty bad like Cassie did, especially Usher. You know how Cassie said that he held her career over her head every time she tried to leave? The lawsuit said Miss Ventura left her home in Comstock and went to hide away at a friend's home in Florida. James Cruz, president of Bad Boy Management, tracked Miss Ventura down and told her that her single would not be released if she did not answer Mr. Combs' phone calls. A woman who worked at Sony Music reached out to her with a similar ultimatum concerning her record. Incredibly, Mr. Combs even convinced one of his attorneys to call Miss Ventura at this time. This lawyer told Miss Ventura that it's in your best interest to call Mr. Combs back. Each time Miss Ventura tried to run away, Mr. Combs and his powerful network would force her back to him. So it looks like Cassie was not Diddy's only victim, and again, it tracks. Justin was new on the scene while Diddy was already an established icon, so one bad word from Diddy could get Justin blackballed in Hollywood, and his career would have been ruined. But that's not all, because there's an interesting twist with this. You see, when Justin was discovered by record executive Scooter Braun, he was then introduced to Usher, who then took him under his wing and introduced him to Diddy. Justin was 13 years old at the time, which coincidentally is the same age that Usher was when he was sent by L.A. Reid to live with Diddy, who is believed to have allegedly SA'd him. It's unclear how or why Usher's parents decided to allow him to leave their roof and live with Diddy. I'm not trying to shame them or anything like that, but it was clear to everyone that it was a bad idea from the very start. I mean, Diddy was known for his party lifestyle, girls, debauchery, and all that stuff that a 13-year-old child should have never been introduced to or even been around at all.
Crazy thing. Now that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
Flavor Camp.
Yeah,
Flavor
that's
Camp.
what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
in the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really.
Like, can you stay up till 4 in the morning with them and party?
I mean, I could. I actually stayed up longer than them.
And Do you have money? What's going on?
I mean, I had like per diem. I had like, you know,
What
like
a
a living.
life.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
14 years old.
Now, the parties alone would have been bad enough, but it gets worse because Usher is still traumatized about this more than 25 years later. I mean, do you know what type of trauma it has to be for him to be still dealing with it after all this time? He doesn't even like to talk about his time with Diddy, and this should have been the first major red flag that there was something wrong that went down at Camp Puffy, or Puffy Flavor Camp as they called it. There was that interview he did with Howard Stern, and the things he said were immediate red flags.
Place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle,
right?
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried
to say is that there were very curious things taking place, and I didn't necessarily understand it.
And just so y'all know how bad it was, Usher vowed that he would never let his own kids do the same thing.
Did you ever send your kid to Puffy Camp?
Hell no.
See? He then claimed that Diddy forced him to hide what he was going through from his parents.
Your parents were Mary J. Blige, they didn't know nothing about this shit.
Oh.
It's all at this point that I have to start giving Usher the side eye too, because why on earth would he send Justin over to Diddy's place for the same Camp Puffy stuff when he knows how bad it was? He even said out of his own mouth that he would never send his own kids over to Camp Puffy. So why did he do that to Justin? Also, it's clear as day that whatever happened between Diddy and Justin, it made Justin very uncomfortable, and he started to avoid Diddy.
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. How are you?
Young brother, everything's good?
Everything's
Selling
great.
out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But you never really got my number,
So just like Cassie, Justin was trying to get away from Diddy, but Diddy was not about to let him go so easily, even though Justin was clearly uncomfortable. Then there's also this video of Justin doing something to Odell Beckham Jr. at one of Diddy's parties. Yeah, that was a bit creepy, to be honest. And again, a Diddy party is nowhere where a minor should be. Y'all, even an adult would be creeped out by the alleged things that happen there, because a couple of people have spoken out about the insanity that happens at these parties. A couple of months ago, 50 Cent revealed that a lot of gay STX takes place at Diddy's parties. He posted this picture of Lil Baby and said, "See, this why I don't go to no party Puffy and them at. The F going on here. Get the F off my young man." What the F? Well, the streets are now saying something else that makes the entire situation even more sinister. In Cassie's lawsuit, she talked about the disturbing way that Diddy would force her to use drugs and then SA her when she got high. She said, Mr. Combs provided Miss Ventura with copious amounts of drugs. She became more intoxicated than she ever had before, and her intoxication lasted throughout the weekend trip. As she wanted Mr. Combs to continue to support her career, she felt she could not refuse Mr. Combs' urging her to take more. After providing her with drugs, Mr. Combs had intimacy with Miss Ventura during this trip. She also talked about how he always had drugs around them, saying, Mr. Combs first introduced Miss Ventura to opiates around 2008 and would often have pills and other drugs out in the open like candy. And Mr. Combs always supplied Miss Ventura and the sex worker with copious amounts of drugs before and during the FOs. Miss Ventura was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during FOs, which alleged her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. Well, the streets are now saying that he allegedly did the same thing to Justin, and that he has not only introduced Justin to drugs, but he also allegedly got Justin hooked on the drugs to the point where Justin developed an addiction. Now, Justin has spoken about his struggle with addiction in the past, and it's just heartbreaking to hear about the things that he went through in the industry at a young age.
There was a time where I was sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything, and it was just an escape from.
He also talked about how difficult it was for him to beat the addiction.
I was waking up in the morning and the first thing I was doing is popping pills and smoking a blunt and starting my day. It just got scary. I basically said to myself, I'm like, God, if you're real, you get me through this season of stopping these pills and stuff, and if you do, I'll do the rest of the work.
Fans have noticed how he stopped hanging out with Diddy so much after he got clean, and he doesn't really even hang out with Usher as much as he used to before he decided to get clean. He has gone through a very impressive change, dropped the drugs, getting clean, and taking his career to new heights, and I'm here for it because he deserves way better than what he got from the industry. Now fans are starting to stand up for Justin and calling Diddy out for being a weirdo, and they've been saying stuff like, P. Diddy was Usher's legal guardian. Justin Bieber literally just turned 15 years old. Bieber had to spend 48 hours with Diddy. The location and what they did was undisclosed, but we know what happened. He's not beating those allegations. Y'all really gotta open your eyes and ears about the big dogs in the industry. Diddy has had the nastiest rap sheet next to R. Kelly, and y'all now hearing about it? The man had a young male artist program he called the Flavor Camp. Usher and Justin Bieber attended. Hello, a lot of rappers in this era have accused him of SA and or being his boy toys. And I just hope one day Usher and Justin Bieber have the strength and support system to talk about what Diddy did to them. Y'all, this is absolutely terrible. But I gotta know what y'all think about the situation. Do you think that Justin is ever going to speak up against Diddy, or do you think he's going to keep pretending like it didn't happen? Drop your thoughts and comments below, and then check out this next video.